G'day and welcome to Stationeers. Stationeers is a sandbox survival game set in space, so it suits the channel, I think. But it's a game that I really enjoy. It has sort of the same feel as Astroneer in my opinion, but it has like the complexity of Space Engineers. With it allows you to do logic and automate things, and it's definitely a game I'm interested in. So we are going to start a new world. Now I've tried this game twice already, and they were both on the moon and they both failed miserably. The first time I ran out of power and ended up dying, and the second time I was trying to automate a furnace and I ended up blowing up the entire base with a hydrogen oxygen mix. So yeah, that was fun. All right, so I thought what we could do is maybe jump on Mars, because I haven't played on Mars and it looks like it's a little bit different. So on the moon, there's no atmosphere. And also the solar angle is 0. So it the sun just rotates directly over the top of your base, whereas on Mars it has an 8-degree variation, I guess. So that'll play a little bit on our power generation, but it also has a very, very small atmosphere, made up of different gases, obviously. So let's start this off, and let's close that down. All right, so let's take note of where the sun is. Is it setting? It might be setting over there, which means that would be east over there. All right, cool. So while we still have a bit of light, and let's turn our light off as well. Let's set up some iron frames to sort of, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to be setting over there. I believe that's going to be east, I think. In which case I should be building this the other way. Because basically I want to set up a platform for all of our solar panels. So I need them all to be able to face east. If I place them down in here, they'll all block each other. So we'll see how that goes anyway. That might be wrong. Okay, so if you're new to the game, or you haven't played it or whatever, let's go over the UI just so you understand what you're looking at. So in the top right hand corner we have our basically the internal and external atmospheric conditions. So external, we have a 2 kilopascal pressure, and that's mainly made up of carbon dioxide, I think. But it also has other gases as well, which will come into play later on in the game. It's on Mars, it'll be, I think it goes up to 20 degrees Celsius. While we're just screwing around, let's go and do some mining. Okay, so 20 degrees during the day. I think it gets down to about negative 60 degrees Celsius. And our internal pressure and everything, atmospheric conditions, is our suit basically regulating our temperature and pressure so we can survive. Now that's run off battery power. So if I press 3 to open up my suit, we can see I've got oxygen tank. This is my waste tank, so that's where my carbon dioxide goes, because I exhale carbon dioxide. And then I have a life support. So this battery is keeping us alive. And that's the first hurdle. We need to make sure we can swap that out with a fully charged battery fairly soon.
So what I'm doing right now is just mining some iron.
We're going to need some copper and stuff as well, but I'm also going to turn on the jetpack. Oh, nice. There's copper right here. Golden. So all the tools and everything, they have to be like turned on and off regularly because they have batteries as well. So you can't just like put your drill away because it'll go flat. Which is, I don't know, it's a cool aspect. I really like that. There's some more iron there. Now, I'm not going to show a great deal of mining because I don't think that's the key point of the game, in my opinion. I think the main aspect is definitely automating things and, you know, general engineering. I don't think the mining is very entertaining, in my opinion. It's different for space engineers, in my opinion, because there's a clear progression, because you go from tools to some sort of a ship, and then there's different ways to mine. But because this is more like Astroneer, where you just have a tool and you just run around mining by hand the entire time. I don't think it's very good gameplay. So I'm going to cut it out of the videos. I just wanted to show a little bit at the start, just so you understand what happens. Basically, I'm drilling around until I get that little prompt that comes up. And then that normally indicates that there's a node, but sometimes there's phantom ones. Let's try not to lose our base. If you're coming from Space Engineers into this, don't be scared to use your jetpack. The fuel lasts for ages in this. So it's definitely worth spending the fuel to get to places a lot quicker. Yeah, so you can see there's a little prompt there. These like cracked rocks, they also have ore in them. If I open up my mining belt, you can see that goes up there, even though there wasn't a direct node there. So you can keep mining those out for a little bit extra. And it'd be nice to get some gold as well if I could while we have daylight. So that is definitely west. Okay, so I was wrong. It was the other way around. That's east over there, and that's west. All right, got to keep that in mind. Anyway, back to mining. So I'm not very good at this game. It definitely has a it's definitely survival orientated, which is more like Astroneer, in my opinion. And the way the atmospherics are modeled is very, very fun, because there's all different types of gases and you can mix them together, and they all have different pressures and temperature, and it's very, very cool. Well beyond my brain capabilities, but it's very fun to mess around with it. It looks like I spent all my time getting that copper rather than looking for gold. So yeah, that was a fail, but that's all right. All right, so the first hurdle we have is power, obviously. So what we want to do is set up a solar panel. We get one given to us at the start. There it is. No, that's the solid fuel generator. There we go, solar panel. So let's swap some of this stuff out. What else are we going to need? We're going to need iron frames, and we're going to need iron sheets. We won't need that. We will need glass, and I just got rid of that. That's good. And the power controller as well. And road flares, I don't care about you. Just going to yeet those. What else have we got in here? Labeler. Okay, so let's get our tool belt on. And open it up. Let's just drop that on the ground for a second so I can put these cables in there, and then I can get my labeler down there. Let's open up the backpack, put the tablet in there. Just trying to get organized here. Let's drop these cereal bars. We don't need those just yet. And then I will leave that. We don't need that. Road flares. Get out of here, road flares. Okay, so we've got some organic supplies as well. They have plants in them, so ideally we want to save these so we can plant them in our hydroponics later on and actually grow them. So hopefully we can survive off these cereal bars that we have until we're ready to actually plant those. But we can eat the plants if we are absolutely desperate. Okay, so we're good on that front. Where is the start of my base? There it is. Let's get the duct tape out of there. We don't need that. So there's a left and right hand feature in the game. I can change hands with E, and some actions require you to have certain things in certain hands. So for instance, if I want to weld up this frame that I've placed here, I need iron sheets in one hand, and then I need my welder in the other hand. And like all or most other tools, I need to turn it on before I can weld. And then I can just weld it up. Okay, very good. Next, turn off the welder and put it away. I'm still getting used to the controls, so you'll see me fumble around a little bit. Okay, so the solar panel has two ports on it. One's for electricity and one is for data. And the data is it'll allow us to automate the process. I'm just going to place it like that. Now, that was west over that direction there, and that was east. Okay, so the frames, I didn't really explain this, but in this state here, we can't actually place anything on it. So by welding one sheet to it, it got it to a structural state where we can place things on it. And then there's another state, if we weld it up again, it'll make it airtight, which obviously we don't need just yet. We just needed structural. There is something else we're going to need. In here, we have a sensor. Now the sensor, if I mouse wheel through, there's all different sensors like gas sensor and motion sensor, but we need the daylight sensor. And we need it to face east for what I'm going to do with it. So let's place that down there. I'm actually going to pick this up and change its orientation. Is it the hand drill? Yes. Okay, so let's deconstruct that. And I'm going to flip it around so the data is on this side here. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's finish off the solar panel because it's not functional at the moment. We got to put glass on it. There we go. Now it's functional. And so put these tools away and close some of these things down. If we grab the wrench out, we have control over it. So basically, while it's in this state here, we have to babysit this. So during the day, we're going to have to come over here and tilt it up as the sun goes over, which is why I'm getting this set up fairly early, because I hate that. So we're gonna try and automate that as soon as possible. But obviously I'm getting way ahead of myself here because I don't even have the necessary equipment to do that. So we're gonna have to build some sort of a platform here to get some crafting benches down. And this looks pretty good. I try to start off on a spot where I can just walk up onto the platform. Because even like a little lip like this, like I can't walk straight up there, which is a little bit irritating. Let's get our iron sheets out and change hands, and I'll get the welder out as well. We'll turn it on and get these welded up. So I'm just going to the first state, so it doesn't need to be airtight. We just need it to be structural. That should be good for now. Okay, turn that off and put it away. We're gonna need some more goodies. Nothing in here. We need the furnace. Let's put that in the backpack. And we need the auto lathe. And plastic sheets. Okay, let's place that down there. And then we also need the arc furnace. Sure, let's do that. Okay. Now we need to wire this up. That's where the power comes in. And same with the arc furnace. And then we need to head over in this direction here to go to our solar panel. Now, I might actually weld this block up. And then we're going to place a area power controller. So this is, how do I explain this? It will, one of the things it does is it separates power from data. So no data will be able to transfer past this, and power can only run one way. So from this way to this way. Have we got that set up right? Yeah, we do. But it's not doing anything currently. So I should probably speed this up a little bit because we're wasting power here. God, I hope I have enough cable to do this. Go that way, and then I believe it's on this row here. I might have doomed myself right from the start by making this so long. We're good. Okay. Let's grab the crowbar out and we can open this up. Is that right? I think I screwed that up. God damn it. Okay. Let's get the hand drill out and we will deconstruct that. No, that looks right. So power's coming in from the right and then going out to the left. Open it up. Yeah, okay. That looks good. Okay. So we need, well, we can put our battery in there, but I just need a replacement, which we have there. So open up our life support. It's down to medium. So let's swap that over and then we can put the medium battery in there. Turn this on. And now it's getting power from the sun, which we're probably going to have to adjust. If we have a look here, yeah, it's down to 50% efficiency. So we'll have to tilt this up. That's probably as good as we're going to get it for right now. Okay, so the area power controller also has a battery as backup. So you can think of it as if you have multiple of these into different networks of your base. If one part of your base completely drains out all of your power, at least the other sections will last for a little while because they'll have a battery backup. But essentially this will run without the battery as long as it has power coming through it. Okay, so that is good for now. We're getting a little bit of charge throughout the day to recharge those batteries. We do want to smelt some iron and some copper. So let's grab our mining belt and we will insert the iron into there. We'll turn the arc furnace on and activate it. And that'll tick down as it's smelting it. When it gets down to 0, it'll pop out the whatever it's finished out the back. Let's get this welded up. So back to the tool belt. Close down the suit. We don't need to see that. And let's grab our welding torch. Turn it on and we'll weld that up. And next we need some cables. So let's swap those over. This is just from memory. The tutorial tells you how to do it. All right, next is plastic sheets. And then we're finished with the welder, so we can turn it off. Last thing we need to do is just screw on the panels. And then there we go. There's our auto lathe, the first crafting bench that we have access to. There's our iron. We can insert that into the left-hand side there. We can select recipes with these arrows and then craft it with the middle button. It also tells you the requirements there as well if you hover over it. But there's also a find recipe button, so that gives you a giant drop-down menu basically where you can select what you want to craft. It also has a search feature as well, which is pretty good. The first thing we're going to want is an electronics printer. That's where we're going to get all the logic circuits so we can automate that process, which reminds me we need to adjust that. Yeah, that will be okay. It's more or less directly above us, but at least it'll get more efficient as it goes over there. And that battery's still not fully charged yet. That's fine. Let's get our copper being smelted as well. Oh, during the day I should be mining as well because we're going to need gold. So I'm going to put this on. Actually, I can just do it from there, can't I? Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to drop the rest of the copper we have here. And put my wrench away, which I didn't do because I'm fumbling through these controls. There we go. All right, mining belts. Grab the miner. We really need gold for electronics, so let's go for a quick scout, see if we can see some. That's where I'd already been. I wonder if there's anything just up on top of this hill. Oh, that's where the copper is. There we go. There's some gold. Perfect. Oh, turn your drill on, Timmy. Is it going to be... It's just going to be a single node. Sometimes you get these dud ones and it's just a single node. And it looks like that's what this is. What else have we got? More copper down there. That's awesome. We're going to go through lots and lots of copper. So it's good that it's around here. But we're really after gold at the moment. Don't need coal. There we go. There's some gold. This looks like a good deposit. So I'm just going to continue mining all day. I don't want to waste the daylight. Yeah, just need... I'm going to try to get as much of this gold as I can. Gold takes a little bit longer to mine, as you can see, because I was smashing through the iron and the copper. But yeah, gold takes a little bit longer. Just a little bit of post-commentary here. Something I didn't talk about during the video is the lack of sound. And that's not me, that's actually the game. I think the developers tried to mimic real-life physics, whereas, you know, sound needs a medium to travel along. And so because we're in space, there's no sound. But there's a reason why movies and TV shows put sound effects in anyway, and it's because it makes things more interesting, more entertaining. So I feel like that was a bad design choice, in my opinion. I would have preferred to see maybe, or hear, some sort of an effect over the top of the sounds to make them sound more elongated, like more drawn out, like we're in a vast empty space. And then had normal sounds when we're in a pressurized environment. But that's just my 2 cents. No, I think that's it. Wait, there was a little bit more. All right, that looks like it. Let's quickly reorientate ourselves, or reorient ourselves. There we go. There's the base. Okay, so we're just gonna try to get some more iron. If we can. That's nickel. That's oxide. These are all ingredients we're going to need later on. And I'll go through them then, but for right now we're running out of daylight. And I really need some iron. Here we go. Perfect. We don't need ice. Okay, it looks like this is done. Now I've lost the base. Let's go up a little bit. I have no idea where it is. God damn it. Wait, was that a light that I saw over there? Oh my god, I don't know how I saw that. There is like a tracking beacon that you get that you start with, but I've never needed it before. That was the first time I've ever gotten lost. I'm normally pretty good. Anyway, drill is off, so let's put it away, or turn it on again, you idiot. Wait, did we already made iron, didn't we? Yeah, it's gold that we need. Let's get that going. Let's turn that off as well, because that's chewing up power. That's just gonna melt. I don't really care about that anyway. We're not ready for it. How's our power looking? We still have high charge. Looking good. Okay. Before we get stuck into that, let's swap over to the tool belt and get our wrench, and we'll reset this to facing east so we can get the morning sun, and then that way I don't need to worry about it. Okay, so that's going. We're just waiting for the gold, I think, and then we can make an electronics printer. Let's go get some food. I think I dumped some cereal bars on the ground. Yeah, here we go. All right, cool. Okay, gold is done. Let's turn that off so it's not wasting power. Put our gold in. So the electronics printer, basically it prints anything that's electronic. So things like circuit boards and cabling, solar panels, all that type of stuff. The auto lathe is more like a general purpose thing. Crafts like a lot of things. Replacement suits. A lot of the machinery comes from here. Oh, you can do cables from here. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. And then, yeah, iron frames and steel frames and things like that. Now, all the crafting benches will constantly pump out whatever you decide to make, provided they have electricity and the resources necessary. So don't leave them unattended if you only want to make a few. There's a neat trick that if you only want to make one of something, you can set it up to craft and then just change the recipe, and it'll look like it's now making that item, but what it'll do is it'll finish making what you set and then it'll stop. It won't make anything else, which is pretty cool, especially for things like this, because this crafting bench takes a long time to craft, and you generally want to go and do other things. So you can just set it up, change the recipe, and then walk away, basically. All right, so we're making the electronics printer so we can build the circuit boards we need to be able to automate this. And then from there, we'll be able to make, we can place multiple solar panels, and then we can build a much bigger stationary battery, which will be able to hold a lot more power than this little dinky little thing. And that'll be our main power supply for our base. And then from there, we will have multiple APCs to control the different sections of our base. There we go, there's the electronics printer. Let's place it here, I think, because it's going to be minimal amount of wiring needed, because we only have a couple of cables left. Now, I obviously I can't build that there unless I remove that straight piece. But if I change hands and I have the wire cutters in my other hand while I'm building, it'll allow me to splice into that wire and add to it. So that's a neat little mechanic. It does the same thing for piping. So if you have the wrench in your hand while you're doing piping, you'll be able to splice into it, which is very cool. Alright, so we need our iron sheets, and then we will need, oh shit, I actually need one more cable to build this thing. I'm probably going to need more though. Oh nice, okay, I didn't know it did that. Alright, don't let me forget about that. I need a few cables, but I don't want to waste all my copper on it. Alright, let's get the welding torch out. Change over to cables. Add the plastic sheets. Turn the welder off. Welder away, and then screwdriver. There we go. So that's the electronics printer. We're gonna need more cables than that. We're probably gonna need more gold as well. So let's get some of that being smelted. How's our power looking? Risky, because we're gonna need a change soon. Let's see how it goes. Let's put the plastic sheets away. We don't need those. Now the gold takes quite a long time to smelt. Later on we'll be able to use a furnace which uses a gas mixture of hydrogen and oxygen to combust basically, and it works basically instantly. It's really cool, but it's quite involved. Oh, that's that ice. That ice is melting because the temperature's starting to come up. So that's good. That will put some power into here. The electronics printer is actually a lot faster at doing cable than that thing. So let's use that instead. Now, to get the resources out of this, you can see it has some iron, some gold, and some copper in there. What we can do is turn it on and then pull this handle. It'll dump everything out of it. And then we can close that and turn it off again. And put them in the other machine. Am I kicking ores around? No? Okay. Okay, let's just make a few more cables. Yeah, look how much quicker this thing is. And then we're gonna need some logic IOs. We're gonna need 2 logic IOs. There's 1, and then I can change the recipe to stop it from making any more. Logic memory, we're actually gonna need 3 of these. And while we're waiting for that, no, not the hand drill, the wrench. Let's get this back into a more efficient location. Let's get some memory being crafted up. We need 3 memory units. How's that battery looking? Yeah, it's still looking okay. That gold has taken ages. Still got 18 left. Is that 2? Yeah, this is the last one. Okay, and then logic processors, we need 4 of them. So let's pick these up. Put them in our backpack. Let's put the wrench away. I don't want to leave this because I don't want to accidentally make too many. So they take gold and copper. The processors actually take 2 each. I'm pretty sure the IOs and the memories only take 1 gold each. And this is the last one, so we can change the recipe there. And we'll turn this off as well to save a little bit of power. Okay, beautiful. Now, before we get too involved, actually I will have to place these down. We're going to place the IOs first. So we need the, there's a weird bug at the moment that it won't let you place something unless you try to place it on another platform first. We need a logic reader first, and that's going to read the solar angle. Let's put that down there. Actually, that's, no, that's fine. That's going to be fine. And then we're going to need a batch writer, which we can place like that. Next, we're going to need some, let's get that bug out of the way. There we go. Logic min max. So we're going to need 2 of these. And another one down there. And next we're going to need 2 math units. So logic math. And then finally our memory. Now this isn't going to be fully efficient. This is only going to evaluate the vertical angle. And on Mars, like I said, there was that 8-degree variation. So realistically, if you were playing this, you should do 2 sensors, and then you'll be able to do both axis. You'll be able to do both vertical and the horizontal, but I don't fully understand the math involved. So at least with this one, I understand the math, so I'll be able to explain what I'm doing. And later on, we'll do a much more efficient way. All right, so we've got to wire this all up. And let's adjust this again. We'll go one more. Yep, that should be good. And how's that battery looking? Okay, that's finally finished. So let's turn that off. Hopefully we can get some charge into this, and then we'll be able to swap our battery, which is still on medium at the moment. And I should turn my light off, like, so I can save a little bit of power. There's probably a more efficient way to wire it up, because certain blocks only need access to certain blocks. So if you organized it a little bit better, you could probably save a few cables. But I'm too lazy for that. So I'm just gonna wire it all up together. All right, let's see how that goes. So there's a 4-way junction. Oh, let's get our wrench out and just keep following the sun. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Get our cables back. We need a regular junction. There we go. And now we need some, we need a junction there and a junction here. We're not gonna have enough cables. Corner, we need two more cables. I'm probably gonna need more though, so I'm just gonna leave it on. Another junction there. Yeah, let's turn my light on so I can actually see. Is that all wired up? Looks like it. Looks good. We ran out of copper, so I hope this is enough. Let's change that battery over. Let's get our wrench and get the last little bit of sunlight. Okay, so this batch writer, what we need this to do is go up to the solar panels so it can write to its data slot and tell it what to do. I could have saved a lot of cables if I just went straight up. Yeah, I might do that. Because it doesn't need to be separate. This entire thing is a separate network at the moment, so let's do that. There we go. That looks good. Now we are going to need power to come from the APC, so we might be better off moving the APC back. Open that up and put the battery in. Get our wire cutters in our hand as well, so we can splice into this network. So that is going to be supplying power to everything, right? That's going to go up to there. Everything, yep, everything's going to be getting power. Beautiful. Okay, next is to program it. Now, I will do the best I can to explain the math behind it, but essentially the whole point of this is we need to convert the angle that the daylight sensor is going to read into a percentage value that the solar panel can use. Because if we have a look at the wrench here, when we're tilting this, it only has like 80%. So if we used the degrees, the angle in degrees, that wouldn't be the right angle for this. So we need to convert degrees to percentage value. Now, on top of that, the solar panels at 0% elevation, they're on a 15-degree angle, and at 100%, they're at 165 degrees. So we also need to account for that. So we can't actually move this until the sun is at least 15 degrees in the air. And then when it gets down to, its maximum, it's going to be 165 degrees. So that's what we need to do with all this, all this crap. Before we get started into programming it, let's label these to make it easier. So logic reader and batch writer are okay the way they are, but we're going to change this to logic minimum angle. This one is going to be logic maximum angle. This one here is going to be logic math subtract minimum angle. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Logic math divide. This is really the conversion, so divide conversion. This one here, we're going to have a constant value of 1.5, so memory 1.5. This one will be our minimum angle, so which is 15. We'll just have memory 15. This is our maximum angle, which is, well, it's not maximum angle, it's the maximum that the solar panel can turn. So we'll put 100 in there. And then to set the actual value, we can label, use the labeler on the actual screw, and then we can actually type in the value that is stored in there. Let's change that one to 15, and finally this one to 1.5. Put the labeler away, and to set this up, we're going to need a screwdriver. To use all these little screws, you've got to use a screwdriver. So first, the logic reader, we're going to read from the daylight sensor. So input is going to be daylight sensor, and the variable that we want to read is going to be the vertical, the solar angle. But because of the way we've got this orientated, it only measures the vertical angle. Actually, it's not because of the way it's orientated, it's because of the mode that it's on. Default is vertical, and then the horizontal is horizontal. Okay, next we're going to take that logic reader value, and we're going to see which is less. Is it the angle, or is it our minimum angle, which is in memory 15. And then next we're going to do some math with that. So we're going to take that logic min angle, and we're going to subtract. Oh no, we're going to take the actual solar angle. My bad. So we're going to take the daylight sensor, wherever it is. Is that, oh, that's because no, it should be coming down through here now. Did I go past it? Oh, it's the logic reader. I can't read from the daylight sensor directly. So the logic reader, we're gonna subtract the minimum angle. So whatever this works out to be the minimum, we're gonna subtract that from it. Next, we're going to convert it. So we're going to convert that degree into a percentage value. So we're going to take that logic, math, subtract minimum angle, and we're going to divide by the 1.5, memory 1.5. And then from there, we're gonna get the maximum angle. So we're gonna take that logic math divide conversion. So that's the percentage value. And we're gonna see what's less. Is it this, or is it the maximum angle of the solar panels? Maximum percentage, basically. And then from there, we're going to batch write to all of them. So we're going to take the value from this logic max angle, and we're going to output to all of the solar panels. So the way the batch writer and batch reader, they input and output from everything under that same type. So if we have solar panel here, and we add more solar panels, it'll output to all of the solar panels on the same network. And the variable is going to be the vertical angle. And that's it. So we can turn all of these on. And then turn the APC on. So that we can see there, it's reading the angle of 5 degrees. And then we're seeing which is less, subtracting that from the actual angle. Then we're dividing it by 1.5 to get the percentage value. Then we're seeing which is less, the angle that produces, or the maximum percentage value, and then writing it to the solar panels. So now, as the sun rises, we're going to wait for it to reach 15 degrees, obviously. But you can see this will be pretty efficient, but not it'll never be 100% efficient, because remember, we're not handling the horizontal rotation as well. That should have rotated by now. What are you outputting? Oh no, it is moving. God damn it. I'm second guessing myself. All right. So that is working. It was far too efficient. I was thinking, no, I've done something wrong. It shouldn't be that efficient. So that's pretty good. So now we don't need to worry about the wrenching this into place during the day. We can leave that. It's going to follow the sun to the best of its abilities, of course, and it's going to charge up this battery for us. All right, next on the agenda is probably going to be moving to a bigger power storage, because this little battery is not going to be able to handle what we need, and obviously we need more solar panels as well to fill it. But I think that's a good stopping point for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this this first impressions of this this very cool game. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. As always, don't forget to lead your targets. I'll see you next time.